Good morning, dear students. Today I'll start by the first grammar lesson for this term. This grammar lesson is called present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. The difference between those two tenses is very simple, that we have to put the focus on the action if we would like to use the present perfect. So if we use the present perfect simple, here we are putting the focus on the action. If we would like to put the focus on the duration, we will use the present perfect continuous. Here, the form of the present perfect simple. As you see in number 1, I have read 100 pages today. So we put have plus the PP form of the verb, have or has, according to the speaker, singular or plural. So, as you see the form, have or has plus PP. The second one here, he or she or it has left, because they are singular. Left is the PP form of leave. Number 3, they haven't arrived. This is called negative form. So we put not by the end of have or has in order to change from affirmative sentence to negative sentence. The last one here is have they arrived yet? This is of course called question form. So if we would like to form a question by using the present perfect simple, we will start by have or has, then we put the subject pronoun, then the PP form of the verb, then the question mark. This is the form for the present perfect continuous or the present perfect progressive. The form here is totally different from the present perfect simple. We will have or has plus been plus verb plus ing. Like this example, I have been reading all day. This is also, as I said before, we put the focus on the duration, that I have been learning all day. The second one, he or she or it has been sleeping all morning. So that's the form, has plus been plus verb plus ing. Been is the PP form for verb to be. The verb to be, in the affirmative form, we call it be. If we put it in the past, it will be was or were. If we put it in the PP form, the past participle, we call it been. Number 3, they haven't been reading all day. This is, as we said before, negative form. So the same for the perfect continuous is that we put not by the end of have or has. The last one is a question form. Have they been reading all day? So the same, we started by the helping verb, have or has, then the subject pronoun, then been, and the verb and the ing form. This chart, you can understand from it the present perfect simple. The present perfect simple, as you see, this is an action that finished in the past time and continues up to the present. As you see here, the action finished sometimes before now, finished sometimes before now. Specific time is not important. So this is the difference between present perfect and past simple. The past simple, we know exactly when this action happened in the past. So the time mentioned in the past. While here in the present perfect, it's not important at all to mention when exactly the time or the action happened. So specific time is not important. As you see the chart, this is the past time and this is now. So it happened recently and I can see the result in the present. Michael has jogged. He has jogged already. The present perfect simple is used. In this chart, we're supposed to discuss the usages for the present perfect simple, or when exactly we are able to use the present perfect simple. As you see, number 1, we use the present perfect simple, have or has plus PP, to describe an action which started in the past and continues up to the present. Started in the recent past and continues up to the present. It means that it didn't start and finished in the past, which is the difference, again, between the past and the perfect form, present perfect simple. Especially with the state verb. Stative verb, like have, like, know. In this case, we often use for instance. If we are going to use any of those verbs, have, like, know, smell, taste, you know the stative verbs? Verbs, if we put them in the continuous form, it gives another meaning for the verb. So we can use those verbs, but we often use for and since with them. Example number 1. They have been friends for 20 years. They have been friends for 20 years. Here I put the focus on the action of being friends through those years. I didn't put the focus here on the duration. I put the focus on the idea of being friends for 20 years. The second one, she has known him since 1999. I can't use been or I can't use known here. I can't use verb know in the continuous form. I can't say she has been knowing him since 1999. This means that I can't use know as a state verb with the perfect progressive. I can't use it. And I can't use it also with the present continuous. So verb know, verb like, verb have. If I put ing for the verb, it gives me another meaning, especially verb know. If I use it in the continuous form, it will be meaningless. The second usage is for the present perfect simple, is for an action which happened at an unstated time in the past. The exact time is not important and not mentioned because it's not important. Okay? So the emphasis is on the action, as I said. This is very important. That's why I highlighted in red. This means that if you would like to put the emphasis on the action without mention or without referring to when exactly the time happened, so it's better for you to use perfect simple tense. Example number 1. He has broken his arm. The action here is very important, that he has broken his arm or his arm has been broken. The second one, Peter has been to Paris 4 times. This is what's important in the sentence, that he has been to Paris for 4 times. Here, another usages for the tense, for an action which has recently finished and whose result is visible in the present. The action recently finished and I can see the result obvious in the present time. Like when I say, he has just painted the wall. If you entered to a wall and you have the smell of paint everywhere and you put your hand on the wall to touch it and you find that it's still wet, this means that this action has recently finished. The action of what? The action of painting the wall. So, as example number 1, he has just washed her hair. I can see that her hair still wet. The second one, he has just painted the wall. So if I put my hand on the wall, I'll find that it's still wet. This means that the action started and finished recently. And I can see the result of the paint on the wall, smell of the paint. I can see her hair still wet. This is the result of the action. This is present perfect continuous. So as I said, the difference is that perfect simple put the focus on action, perfect progressive put the focus on duration. The action continued for a specific amount of time before now or started recently. It started recently and it takes time in the past. But I can see also the result of this action in the present time. As you see the picture, it started in the past, recently in the past, and it takes time till it reaches the present time now. Michael has been jogging. He has been jogging all morning. He has been jogging all day. He has been jogging for an hour. It means that the action of been jogging, it takes long of time, or it takes time. The perfect continuous is used. The present perfect continuous is used. The first one here, as I said, to emphasis on the duration of an action. Put the emphasis or the stress on the duration of the action itself, which is started in the past and continues up to the present time. Started in the past and continues up to the present time. With the time expressions, and this is very important to understand and to memorize. The time expressions for the perfect progressive is totally different from the perfect simple, except for since and for. Since and for are common between the two tenses. As you see, for, since, as I said, and they are common between perfect simple and progressive. All day, all morning, all week. So all is one of the most important time expression for the perfect continuous. And also we have how long. How long have you been waiting for me? How long have you been learning English? How long have you been sleeping? This is one of the important keywords also. All-time expression. All-time expression. The second point here is for an action which started in the past and lasted for some time. Lasted, that's why we put the ing in the verb. It lasts for a time, for a while. So, for an action which started in the past and lasted for some time, the action may finish, or may be still going on, and the result of the action is visible in the present time. As when you return back home from school one day and you search for your mother. Where have you been? She answered, I have been cooking all day. And you can see that she is terribly exhausted and she's crying, maybe because she's cutting onion. So this means that the result of the action is very clear upon her. It's very obvious that she was cooking. She has been cooking all day. Example, her feet hurt. She has been walking all morning. Her feet hurts. Okay? For an action which started in the past and lasted for some time. The action started in the past and lasted for some time till it reached the present time. The action may finish or may still be going on, and the result of the action is visible in the present. As when you return back home and you search for your mother everywhere in the house. Then your mother comes from the kitchen and she said, I have been cooking all day. It means that she is terribly exhausted because she has been cooking all day. You see that she's crying. Why are you crying? I'm crying because I have been cutting onion for an hour. It means that the result of the action is very obvious upon your mother. Example, her feet hurt. Her feet hurt. For what? For what reason? Because she has been walking all morning. So this is the result of this action. Her feet hurt because she has been walking all morning. So the result is that her feet hurt. The second point here in this slide, to express anger, irritation, or annoyance. What does it mean by anger and annoyance? If something bothers you so much, it's better for you to use the present perfect continuous to express your irritation or to express your anger by saying, somebody has been using my toothbrush. So you are completely annoyed by this action. Someone has been using your private toothbrush. So this is an irritating action. So it's better if you are annoyed by anything happened for you to use the present perfect continuous. This note is very important and you will find it in your grammar books. The note is saying, with the verbs live, work, teach, and feel. Those four verbs, live, work, teach, and feel. We can use perfect simple or perfect continuous with no difference in meaning. For example, if I say, I have been living in France for 4 years, or I have lived in France for 4 years. It's the same. So this is because live, work, teach, feel. I can use those four verbs in both present perfect simple or present perfect continuous with no difference in meaning. Here the time expressions with the present perfect. The time expressions are very important. The first one here is just. She has just arrived at the station. As you see, I put just after have and has and the PP, between have and has and the PP of the verb. Okay, so she has just arrived at the station. They have just arrived at the station. The second one, already. Already, they have already done their homework. It's the same as just. I put already after have or has and before the PP form of the verb. So we have to insert it between have and has, the helping verb, and the main verb in the PP form of the verb, past participle. The third one is recently. Recently, I have painted the wall recently. What does it mean by recently? Recently means short time ago. Recently, I've just. It's the same meaning. But recently, I have to use it by the end of the sentence. So I have painted the wall recently. Lately, the same as recently, comes at the end of the sentence. Have you visited your grandparents lately? Okay, so recently and lately, I use them by the end of the sentences. Here we have yet. Yet has two usages, or I can use it in both structure, in the negative form and in the question form. They haven't finished washing the dishes yet. And also you should put yet or insert yet by the end of the sentence. So they haven't finished washing the dishes yet. Have you finished washing the dishes yet? So if we use it in the negative form or the question form, you have to put it by the end of the sentence or by the end of the question. Ever and never. Ever comes with the question and ever gives a negative meaning. Ever here. Have you ever been abroad? Have you ever learned English? Have you ever traveled abroad? So have you ever been abroad? Been is the PP for verb to be. And ever, as I said here, you have to put it before the PP form of the verb. Have you ever been? Because this is a question form. The last one, never, it gives negative meaning. She has never been to Paris. This means that this action didn't happen. Okay? She has never been to Paris. It gives negative meaning. Always and so far. Always is not only a key word for the present simple. I know all of you memorized that always is one of the time expression expresses the present simple. No, it's not a must. I can use it with the present perfect because the meaning here is totally different. As you see the example, she has always loved animals. It means that she has always loved animals and she's still in this, she still have this emotion. Okay, it's not a past action. It's a present perfect. She has always loved animals. He has always wanted to be a doctor. The last one, so far. So far, I have sent 20 invitations so far. The same as recently. The same meaning as recently, short time ago. I have sent 20 invitations so far. The second one, what have you done so far? What have you done recently? Okay, so those are the time expressions. Now, since and for. Since and for, as I said before, common between the two tenses, between present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. Since, we use it to speak about starting time of the action. As you see, specify the starting point of the action. I only mention the starting time of the action. As you see the first example. They have been married since last April. Since this date, they have been married. I don't know, are they still married or not? I don't know. This is not the main task here or the main meaning here. I just put the focus on the starting time of the action of being married. So they have been married since this time. So it's just the starting time. We have been living here. It's progressive form. This is simple form and this is progressive form. Simple form, progressive form. And also we use since 1980. Since this date until now, they have been living here. It's totally different from for. For is specified and we use it especially to speak about the duration. The duration of the action. I have known Jack for 5 years. It's a specific time here. For 5 years. This is the duration. I have been cooking for 5 hours. This is also the duration. So I've been cooking for this time. So we use for to speak about specific duration of time. We use since to speak about the starting point or the starting time of the action. That's the difference between since and for, and it's very important. Time expression used with the present perfect continuous. As I said before, how long and all morning. Two are very important, and of course since and for, and we explain them. How long? How long have you been learning English? How long is very important because how long is asking about the duration of the time. That's why we usually use it with the present perfect continuous. All morning refers that the action takes long time ago, and I can see the result of the action in the present time. We have been waiting for the electrician all morning. We have been waiting for him. Maybe until this moment we are waiting for him. And since and for. Now, the difference between have gone and have been. Have gone, they have gone to the theater. When I say that I've gone or she has gone, it means that they haven't come back yet. Where is your brother? Where is your sister? He has gone to the supermarket. It means that until this moment he didn't come back. Okay, so this means that they haven't come back yet. Until this moment they haven't come back yet. They gone, it means that they are there. They are still at the theater. The difference here, they have been. When I say they have been, it means that they reached the place and they come back again. He has been to Japan. This means that he has visited Japan. He is not there now. He's not in Japan now. And he has come back. He comes back again. He is here now. All what he has now is the experience of visiting Japan. So, has gone, somebody left the place, somebody goes to anywhere, and he's still there. Has been, he went, and he has come back. By this, we finished the explanation of the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. Thank you so much for listening. And the next video, you will find the exercise to apply upon the two tenses.